Welcome to AI Paper Drop. I'm Alex.
And I'm Maya. What if you could rebuild a massive, complex piece of software from scratch without ever seeing a single line of the original code?
That sounds like a total nightmare. Like trying to rebuild a car engine while it is running, but you are blindfolded.
Exactly. But we are seeing AI actually do this. In one case, it reconstructed a professional bioinformatics toolkit in about 14 hours. For a human engineer, that is weeks of grueling work.
Wait, how is that even possible? If it cannot see the code, what is it actually looking at?
That is the core of the problem the researchers were tackling. For a long time, we have been treating AI coding like a high school quiz. You give the AI a small prompt, it gives you a 10-line snippet of code, and you say, great, it works.
Right. It is like asking a chef to chop an onion. They can do that perfectly, but that does not mean they can run a 5-star restaurant for a month.
Exactly. Most benchmarks are too short. They focus on tiny tasks. The problem is that AI can often cheat these tests. They have seen so much code during training that they just memorize fragments. They are not actually reasoning, they are just recalling.
So the AI is essentially just playing a very advanced game of autocomplete. It is not actually solving the architectural puzzle of a real software project.
Precisely. Real software engineering is long horizon. It is about managing thousands of lines of code, handling edge cases, and making sure everything fits together without breaking. Until now, we did not have a way to measure if AI could actually handle that kind of marathon.
So how do you test for a marathon if you cannot let the AI see the map?
That is where MirrorCode comes in. Think of it like this. Imagine a musician who wants to recreate a symphony, but they are not allowed to see the sheet music. The only thing they have is a recording of the performance. They have to listen, analyze the patterns, and then write the music themselves to match that sound perfectly.
Okay, so in the software world, the recording is the behavior of the program?
Exactly. The AI is put in a secure sandbox. It cannot see the source code of the target program. Instead, it gets a black box. It can put an input into the box, see what the output is, and then use that information to guess how the internal logic works.
So it is basically a game of hot or cold. I put in a number, I get a result, and I think, okay, the program probably just multiplied that by 2. Let me try another number to verify.
Right. But it is doing that on a massive scale. It is not just guessing one function. It is trying to replicate entire utilities like Unix tools, cryptography systems, or data serialization tools. The AI has to write the code, run its own version, compare the output to the original, and then iterate.
But if it just keeps guessing and checking, couldn't it just hard code the answers? Like if it knows that input it always gives output B, it could just write a giant list of if-then statements instead of actually building the logic?
That is the clever part. The researchers used held-out tests. The AI gets some visible test cases to guide its direction, but the final grade depends on hidden tests it has never seen. If it just hard-coded the examples, it would fail the hidden tests miserably.
Okay, that makes it a real test of intelligence. So, did it actually work? Or did the AI just spin its wheels for 14 hours?
It actually worked. And the results are honestly a bit wild. They tested 25 different projects, and 17 of them had at least one run where the AI achieved a perfect score. A perfect replication of the behavior.
Wait, a perfect score on 17 different complex projects? That is a huge success rate for something this difficult.
It is. One of the most impressive examples was a toolkit called GoTree. It is a bioinformatics tool with about 16,000 lines of code. The AI managed to re-implement the whole thing. 16,000 lines of specialized scientific logic, reconstructed just by observing the inputs and outputs.
Hold on, 16,000 lines? That is a lot of surface area for a bug to hide in. Did it just get lucky?
The data suggests it was not luck. The models, specifically the heavy hitters like Claude Opus, were managing thousands of API calls. They were essentially debugging themselves in real time, refining their logic over and over until the outputs matched perfectly.
I am curious about the cost, though. You do not just run a 16,000-line project on a laptop for free. This must have been expensive.
You were spot on. The paper mentions that for some of the larger tasks, A single attempt cost about $2,600 in compute over 19 days. It is a massive inference budget.
Okay, that is the catch. It can do it, but it costs a few $1,000s and takes nearly 3 weeks of compute for one project. Is that actually a win for a business?
In the short term, maybe not. But think about the trade-off. A human engineer taking several weeks to reverse engineer a legacy system is also expensive. And humans get tired, they make typos, and they get bored of reading old documentation. The AI just keeps grinding until the math matches.
I see where this is going. This is not just about writing new apps. This is about the old stuff. The scary, undocumented legacy code that runs the world's banks or airlines.
Exactly. Imagine a company has a critical piece of software written in a language from the 80s that nobody on Earth knows how to read anymore. With MirrorCode, you do not need the original programmer. You just need the program to actually run, and the AI can effectively translate that behavior into a modern, clean code base.
That is a massive shift. We usually think of AI as a co-pilot that helps us write code faster. But this is more like an autonomous archaeologist. It is digging up the logic of the past and rebuilding it for the future.
It really changes the stakes. If AI can move from simple autocomplete to full-scale software reengineering, the barrier to creating complex tools basically vanishes. The only thing that matters is whether you can precisely specify the behavior you want.
It makes me wonder what happens to the human engineer in that world. If the AI can rebuild the engine from the sound of the exhaust, what is left for us to do?
Maybe we stop being the bricklayers and start being the architects. We define the what and the why, and the AI handles the how. But it definitely suggests that the era of the manual coder is shifting into something else entirely.
It is a bit surreal. We are moving toward a world where the source code is no longer the source of truth. The behavior is the truth, and the code is just a disposable implementation of that behavior.
That is the real takeaway here. We are entering an era where software is no longer written, it is mirrored. If you are enjoying this, follow or subscribe to AI Paper Drop wherever you listen. It really helps, and we have a new episode every day.
Paper by Tom Adamczewski, David Owen, David Rain, Florian Brand, Giles Edkins, Alan Hart, Daniel O'Connell. Produced by AI Paper Drop.